Quite a long time ago, in a far-off land, lived an Armenian olive merchant. He was blessed with 3 sons, and the younger one seemed to be best suited to perpetuate the tradition, become an olive merchant as his father, his father's father, and his father's father's father before him. He was often told, "Garabed, you are a great dreamer, which is why you shall be a good salesman. A good salesman must know how to make his clients dream." And true enough, Garabed loved to dream under the olive trees in the shade, and he was used to beautiful dreams. But one day, he dreamt a terrifying nightmare. Lightning shredding the roof of his home, and on the olive trees, showers of blood. A short time later, father sends him off to the great market at Ankara so that he makes his debuts as a salesman. Garabed starts off tormented by his disconcerting dream. He feels it was a warning and fears he will not be up to the task. At Keskin, in the outskirts of Ankara, our novice salesman comes across a sly old Ottoman. You want to sell quickly and return home swiftly? Then grasp today the opportunity offered you by destiny. Wear this wolfskin, and you shall be respected and feared. You shall sell everything, even the wind, from Constantinople to Bebelwet. Eager to do good business and see pride enlighten the eyes of his father, Garabed bewolfs himself. And thus dressed, how easy it is for our young merchant to sell all his goods at the best price to his clients. Eager to return home, Garabed cuts across the forest when 1, then 2, then 3 wolves greet him, their teeth at their best. Fortunately for him, the wolves take him for a brother and suggest they all go together kill his brothers. Hunger, as we know, drives the wolves out of the forest, and soon, from everywhere, wolves loom up, hungry and ruthless, howling to the full moon that the time of the wolf had come at last. On arriving home, Garabed finds his village destroyed, shattered and emptied, no doubt by wolves, angry and famished. Dressed in his wolfskin, he travels the empire through and through, a helpless witness to the slaughtering of his blood brothers, driven by the wolves like herds of sheep to their final destination. His appearance, covered as he was in the rancid wolfskin, turned out to be his salvation. Over the seas, in a faraway country, he finally feels free to discard it at last. But destiny's cruel. The wolfskin is like glued to his own. They are now but one. A terrible curse inherited by his children and grandchildren, all of them unable to find happiness, unable to understand the cause for their misfortune, all of them doomed, as was Garabed, the son of the olive merchant, to bear the appearance of those who slaughtered their family. The story I wish to tell you now is that of the son of the son of the olive merchant's son.
D'abord, on voulait faire Paris-Ankara. Paris-Istanbul.
Paris-Istanbul d'abord.
Oui.
Paris-Istanbul. Vous voulez aller de Istanbul après Ankara?
Oui, exactement.
En train?
J'aimerais bien, ouais. Et ensuite, tous les environs d'Ani, t'as plein d'églises, des monastères, des forteresses, des anciennes mosquées seljoukides.
C'est pas trop dangereux cette région?
C'est un peu dangereux, mais en été, non.
En été, non? Pourquoi? C'est moins dangereux en été?
En hiver, c'est un peu plus dangereux parce que les terroristes, ils en profitent plus en hiver pour descendre à la ville, en fait.
Ah ouais? Les terroristes...
Il y a beaucoup de personnes qui ont peur justement d'aller là-bas à cause de ça, mais il n'y a rien à avoir peur.
D'accord.
Bonjour.
Bonjour.
Et après, on a Genève.
On organise notre voyage de noces en Turquie.
Oui, on peut filmer.
Et je filme parce qu'en fait ma femme est d'origine polonaise.
On doit
Comme
faire
ça.
un compte rendu à la famille.
Comme sa grand-mère n'a pas pu venir, je fais un film de tout notre mariage.
Félicitations.
Merci.
It's been 6 months since Matthew and I got married. It's about time to go on our honeymoon. I don't know why people get married. I got married because I found the man I want to spend the rest of my life with. You find me naive? Wait and see my rock and roll side.
Franchement, je pensais pas que c'était si chiant de préparer un mariage. Franchement, c'était une seule fois de ma vie.
It was I who persuaded Matthew to start our honeymoon in Turkey, a country he doesn't know at all, although he is intimately linked to it. Moi, je suis déjà allée, j'étais à Istanbul, 2 mois, puis ça m'a plu, j'étais à İzmir aussi. Et en fait, Mathieu, il a des origines turques. Son grand-père, arrière-grand-père, il a des origines turques, donc je me suis dit que ça...
Non, pas turc, pas vraiment.
Mais de Turquie.
Enfin, de l'Empire Ottoman. Oui, plutôt arménienne, de l'Empire Ottoman. Puis j'ai un nom turquifié en fait, donc Zeytin Gioglu.
Zeytin Gioglu is now my name, a 14 letters name, not very easy to live with. According to Matthew, if we have children, this unpronounceable name will be the beginning of their martyrdom. Condemned to be the last on all lists, to be in school a subject of endless jokes and puns, and many other complications. The smartest of you will say that it's a Turkish name. But although it sounds Turkish, Matthew will explain to you that it is a Turkified Armenian name.
Je me concentre, il s'appelle Mathieu Zeytin Gioglu.
Oui, il faudrait mieux qu'il prenne un pseudo s'il veut faire une grande carrière. Mais à part ça, le film est
déjà pour
génial.
l'appeler Zeytin, mais voilà.
Originally, it was Zeytunjon, an Armenian name meaning son of the olive merchant. Matthew will tell you that his name was Turkified in 1914. Zeytunjon became Zeytinjoglu, which also means son of the olive merchant in Turkish. It happened in the Ottoman Empire in Keskin, close to Ankara. This Turkification of the name allowed Garabed, Matthew's paternal grandfather, to escape the Armenian genocide in 1915, a crime which is still denied by the Turkish government. He obtained the French nationality and asked to recover his name of origin. But at the time, France was strict in its politics of integration. One could change a foreign name only for a French name. Garabed founded a family and transmitted to his children this Turkified name, condemning them to hide their Armenian roots behind the language of the torturers. Vous croyez que ça se fera
De reconnaissance
Ouais.
par la Turquie?
Ouais.
Non, je pense pas. On a des gouvernements trop conservateurs.
Donc là-bas, vaudra mieux pas que je parle trop des Arméniens en fait.
Aussi, vous
C'est-
pouvez parler des Arméniens.
que s'il y a des sentiments nationalistes-
à mon avis.
éviter quand même
Le mot génocide.
Ne pas parler
Il y a quand même l'écriture de l'histoire officielle qui fait que les Turcs sont persuadés de ce qui s'est passé. Le peuple turc a beaucoup de réticence aussi à essayer de repenser sa propre histoire. Ne vous inquiétez pas, les gens ils seront plutôt sympas et puis bon, si vous êtes à l'aise, vous pouvez dire que vous êtes français et puis vous pouvez poser des questions sur les Arméniens, ils vous raconteront leur point de vue, c'est intéressant aussi.
Ladies and gentlemen, we have just landed at the Turk airport in Istanbul. You are requested to remain seated with your seatbelts fastened until the complete stop of the airplane and until the fasten seatbelt signs have been switched off. Thank you.
Ça y est, on a Istanbul. Évidemment, on a une réservation dans un hôtel ou hostel Paris, à Sultanahmet, sauf que j'ai pas pris d'adresse ni de numéro. Voilà, téléphone. Bravo. Je sais qu'on voit la mosquée bleue des fenêtres de l'hôtel. Et je sais que la réservation avec le numéro de téléphone et l'adresse est sur ma boîte mail. Le truc sur internet, comment demander qu'ils nous le mettent en anglais déjà.
Ouais, comment?
En anglais, please change it into English. Lüften umutları çevirir English. Did you hear about Armenian genocide?
Genocide.
Massacre.
Massacre.
Armenian in 1915.
15.
1915.
1915.
15.
Yes.
15.
Yes.
The massacre of the Armenians by the Turks during the First War. Did you hear about it?
Don't. I like to French, I like to Sarkozy, I like to work. No problem, Turkey. Turkey.
Did you hear about the problems in 1915 in Turkey between the Armenians and the Turkish?
No, you haven't got a problem.
Lie.
With Armenian.
It's a lie. You don't think Turkey should recognize Armenian genocide?
No.
What does the word genocide mean to you? How do you understand it?
Genocide.
Mm-hmm.
I think genocide very bad. Genocide is fight and war in the world.
Well, I don't know the meaning of that term.
Genocide, it was a word invented by a Jewish lawyer after the World War II in 1946 to describe what happened to the Jewish nation, to Jews from Europe.
Yeah.
It means a mass extermination of a population because of their ethnical or religious difference.
Yeah.
That's what it means, Armenian genocide. Did you hear about it?
Yes.
What do you think about it?
When it happens, it was 1915, and it was the First World War, when the Turkish army was fighting in Gelibolu, in everywhere. The Armenian people provoked by the English people, by some of the European countries, and they started to burn the houses. Nobody is speaking about it. Hey, maybe the Turkish people killed lots of Armenian people, but hey, they started to burn the houses. But of course, I'm not saying it's a nice thing to kill the people. No. But sometimes you have to do it because of protecting your family.
on quitte l'Europe et on va en Asie. On va sur la côte asiatique d'Istanbul pour prendre le train pour Ankara.
Ankara? Ankara. Okay. 5 wagon, 17, 18.
Ne içersiniz?
Two beer. Su bira.
İçi Efes.
Yok bizde yok.
Biran yok.
Yok.
Yok bira, okay. Ankara is a noisy and choking city. After 15 hours of train, impossible to find a beer. For Paul, it's hard to bear. It is here, in the suburbs of Ankara and Keskin, that Garabed Zeytunjian became Garabed Zeytunjoglu. But both Matthew and I know that we'll find nothing about it here. Matthew is silent and gloomy. The city doesn't inspire him. Even if he doesn't say anything, I can feel that he is angry at me to have brought him here and that he would like to go back. C'est quand même là où il y avait les Arméniens, non? À l'est de Turquie. Je croyais que tu voulais visiter la terre de tes ancêtres. Non? C'était ça l'idée. Puis à Ani, je te rappelle, à la frontière arméno-turque. Et Ani fut choisie en 961 par le roi Bagratide Ashot III pour être sa nouvelle capitale, à la place de Kars. Regarde comme c'est beau. Ani au printemps. Ani, Kars, Van. Je vais voir, ça va être super. Et Atatürk veillera sur nous.
Madame, monsieur, bonsoir. L'enquête sur le problème arménien va ce soir nous entraîner en Turquie.
On ne comprendra jamais le problème arménien si l'on ne se réfère pas à l'effroyable génocide de 1915. Cette année-là, par centaines de milliers, les Arméniens furent laminés. C'était donc pendant la Première Guerre mondiale. Les Arméniens turcs venaient de refuser de combattre la Russie.
C'était en 1915, pendant que les nations européennes s'étripent dans les tranchées, l'armée turque décide de supprimer le peuple arménien.
Le 24 avril 1915 marque le début du génocide orchestré par les Turcs dans la mémoire collective des Arméniens. Ce jour-là, des milliers des leurs sont arrêtés. Vont s'en suivre des mois de pogroms, d'exécutions de masse et de déportations.
Ces déportations sont organisées sur ordre du gouvernement central à Constantinople.
Hommes, femmes et enfants, sans exception, sont soit abattus, soit transférés vers Alep, puis dans les déserts de Syrie, dont ils ne reviendront pas.
Bilan, entre 800 000 et 1 million de morts et autant d'exilés.
Je ne pense pas que dans toute l'histoire du monde, il y ait jamais eu un massacre aussi général et méthodique que celui qui a lieu aujourd'hui dans cette région. Ou qu'un plan plus diabolique soit jamais sorti de l'esprit d'un homme.
C'est un consul américain qui décrit à son gouvernement ce qu'il a vu de ses propres yeux en 1915.
Au total, sur 2 millions de personnes, le génocide aurait fait 1 500 000 morts.
Les Arméniens estiment que près d'1,5 million des leurs ont péri dans un génocide donc perpétré par les Turcs entre 1915 et 1917, mais Ankara récuse ces accusations.
Voilà près d'un siècle que les gouvernements turcs successifs nient la réalité historique de ce génocide.
Le génocide arménien a été reconnu officiellement par les Nations Unies et par l'Union européenne en 1987.
Oui, absolument. Il y a beaucoup d'entreprises françaises présentes en Turquie. La France est le deuxième investisseur étranger en Turquie et l'un de ses tout principaux partenaires économiques. La Turquie représente pour nous entreprises françaises, 2 fois le Brésil aujourd'hui. C'est un marché émergent de 80 millions d'habitants qui est à nos portes.
Tout est maintenant sur le tapis. Les tabous ne sont plus intouchables. L'économie est en plein essor et la société en pleine mutation. C'est un bon exemple pour dire qu'on peut être à la fois musulman et moderne. On peut être différent, on peut rester différent, mais on peut devenir européen.
Allez-y. Bonsoir, moi je suis polonaise. Et comme vous avez bien dit tout à l'heure, la Pologne fait partie de l'Union européenne depuis 5 ans. Les Polonais et moi personnellement, on sont très contents et fiers.
Oui, ça y est, je l'ai entendu. Oui.
Je recommence. Outre les bénéfices économiques, je pense qu'étant polonais, on est très attaché aux valeurs fondamentales de l'Union, c'est-à-dire l'Union a été fondée pour empêcher les erreurs et les horreurs du passé. Je pense à Auschwitz et autres camps. Et ma question est, est-ce que c'est vrai qu'en Turquie, il existe des musées négationnistes qui présentent le génocide arménien comme le génocide perpétré par les Arméniens sur les Turcs? Et si oui, est-ce que l'adhésion de la Turquie ne serait pas en contradiction aux valeurs de l'Union européenne?
Voilà, alors, très bien. Alors, pareil, je répète, aucun tabou n'est plus de mise. On parle de tout, y compris du génocide arménien. Alors, vous m'avez posé la question de savoir si en Turquie on disait plutôt le contraire, c'est-à-dire si les Turcs étaient génocidés. Ben, les Turcs sont encore là, les Arméniens n'y sont plus. Donc, je crois que c'est très clair. Négationniste, bien sûr. Il y a un musée, enfin, il y a une baraque dans un village à l'est de la Turquie, à la frontière arménienne. Écoutez, j'ai répondu, mais écoutez-moi, j'ai répondu en disant, en effet, oui, il y a des gens qui disent que c'est eux qui ont subi tous les torts, et j'ai répondu en disant, c'est une ironie, parce que les Turcs et les Kurdes sont encore là, alors que les Arméniens ne sont plus là. Maintenant, je comprends que vous ne l'avez pas compris.
Wow. C'est breathtaking, comme on dit. C'est mortel, hein? C'est mortel aride. Enfin arrivé à Erzurum, après 24 heures de voyage, plus 12 heures de retard. Archaeological Museum of Erzurum.
Museum?
Archaeology. Yeah, because we're interested in the section. There should be section about the massacres of the Turkish population by the Armenian. And I read that there is a part concerning this part of history in Archaeological Museum. But the guide we bought doesn't say anything about it.
Not information.
You don't...
Many times.
You don't have a specific...
I don't know.
Is there Armenian area in...
Armenian
area in Erzurum?
Neighborhood.
It's kind Armenian area, no.
No.
No.
Armenian church,
no.
nothing.
Have you heard about Armenian genocide?
No.
Okay.
Okay. So we will instruct ourselves by visiting a museum. The Archaeological Museum of Erzurum, where there's nothing about the Armenians who have lived on this land for over 3,000 years. In the museum, which is far from a small house lost in the middle of nowhere, there is a revisionist section. Some photos on the wall showing dead bodies and exhumed skeletons, stating that they are the Turks massacred by the Armenian terrorists. As dead bodies don't speak, one can make them say whatever one wants. Then how to be sure that they aren't the bodies of Armenians Turkified for the occasion?
I would like to find out something more about the Armenian problem.
As we insist to know more about it, we are invited to meet the director of the museum.
We would like to know if you have information about the Armenian problem in the region.
Bu müzemiz hakkında ve Erzurum'daki diğer tarihi yerler hakkında müzemizde bulunan vitrinler, Urartu, Ermeni katliamı salonu. Ancak çok ayrıntılı bilgiler yok. Hani varsa da belki müdür beyde vardır.
No publication. No.
Yok. İsterseniz bir de müdür beye soralım. Bizler geldi de Ermeni katliamı ile ilgili ayrıntılı bilgi var mı diye soruyorlar. Bizim kitapçığı verdim ama bizim kalemde yok.
CD verebiliriz onların yazılarını.
We saw the section in your museum, the Armenian Turkish section. It's very interesting. But we would like to read more about it.
And in France, they speak a lot about Armenia and Turkish problem. And
France, very wrong.
Very wrong?
Very wrong knowledge, because knowledge absent.
Okay.
France,
okay.
In France. Information absent.
Lack of information or not enough. Not enough.
In France, historians say Turkish kill Armenian. Is it true or no? No?
They talk about massacres. Problem.
And
they talk a lot about
and here they say, in your museum, they say Armenian kill Turkish. So.
Yes. Very wrong for use. History mix.
They say genocide?
Wrong knowledge, world, in world. I have very knowledge.
Yeah, a lot of knowledge.
In museum, Armenian section. Excavations.
Yes.
All world media call for excavation.
Yeah.
There together they are see excavation world media. Are you understand? New history mix. Problem. Armenia go on world. Are you understand? All knowledge recorded TV, camera, photograph. Very knowledge one day cause a mix question. Bilgiler dağıtıyor diyelim. Are you understand?
I understand that it isn't very clear for him. Fortunately, he is helped by the Turkish government, which offers a very modern way of teaching the ignorant, like a DVD intended for the curious tourists like us. But as it must have been a long time since someone asked this kind of question, he doesn't find this DVD supposed to teach us. He's a very nice man. He promises to do whatever is necessary to send us the DVD to France. No otel.
Benzerlikleri var.
Arkadaş.
Araplar hariç.
Arkadaş Erzurum.
He, arkadaşla kalıyorsun. Eyvah. Sen Polonyalı mısın?
Polonya.
Bu Fransız.
Fransız.
Eş misiniz ikiniz? Yes. Very good.
Türkiye balayı.
He, nişanlısınız.
Yes.
Güzel.
Are you Polish?
Mm-hmm.
You?
French origin, and my father family was Armenian.
I have a French Armenian called Armanush. Armanush, yeah. She lives here very difficultly.
Really? Why?
Because in this city, to say that you're an Armenian, people reject, because they are too close people. I know some Christian peoples, but they can't say they're Christian. Yeah. And I can't say I'm an atheist. I don't believe in God. I can't say it.
Wow. Oh, it was so funny today. We went to this archaeological museum. And we saw the section about the Armenian massacre of Turkish. And the director of the museum couldn't speak good English. And he was trying to explain that unfortunately the whole world says that talks about the massacre of Armenians, but it's not true. And he told us it was only a propaganda of Armenian terrorists.
Really?
Yeah.
Oh. And it's a museum director. In Turkey, the government never accepts it's a genocide. It's an ego fight. Ego fight.
It is.
So if the government accepts that, they feel like they're a jerk. Because Turkish people are very Turkish people brave. Turkish people never accept that they make a mistake. Really? I took history lessons in high school. I never heard that about Armenian genocide or something like that. I never heard. In history lessons, Turkish young peoples only learn about Turkish heroes in history.
Yeah.
Only.
Yeah.
Okay. I'm living here in Erzurum. I'm a doctor. I'm here for my job. I hate here. It's an experimental part of my life.
You seem young for a doctor.
Really?
Yeah, because
Yeah, you do seem young. I'm 27. I have 3 boyfriends now, but it's not a kind of polygamy because they know each other always. If they don't accept, I can't accept the situation. They have other girlfriends too.
It's total anarchy.
Yeah. I'm sorry, I don't. I don't feel like a Turkish. Yeah.
You don't feel like a Turkish?
No. I was reading, Simone de Beauvoir, the girlfriend of Jean-Paul Sartre. She was saying that a woman is always under curtains of man nationality. A woman never born like as a woman. She makes her like a woman. It's dangerous, a woman in Turkey.
Les Arméniens ont affaire à un négationnisme qui n'est plus un négationnisme sectaire, mais qui est un négationnisme d'État. Ils ont face à eux et contre eux un grand État puissant, doté de tous les moyens de chantage que l'on peut imaginer. Je me demandais ce qu'il serait advenu des survivants de la Shoah, ce qu'il serait advenu des Juifs de ma génération, nés au lendemain de la Shoah, s'ils avaient eu en face d'eux une Allemagne structurellement négationniste, une Allemagne niant le crime. C'est la situation des Arméniens. Et c'est ce qui rend cette situation particulièrement tragique. Face au discours de ceux qui viennent nier que la réalité ait existé, face à ceux qui viennent dire que vos grands-parents ou arrière-grands-parents ne sont pas vraiment morts, ou pas vraiment morts comme ça, ou que vous prétendez qu'ils sont morts ainsi en vertu d'obscurs intérêts dont vous seriez les trafiquants, vous les Arméniens et nous les Juifs. Face à cette haine brute, presque sans mots, la vérité, en effet, est impuissante. Il s'agit d'autre chose que d'un mensonge. Il s'agit d'autre chose que d'un duel entre le vrai et le faux. Il s'agit d'une haine dont nous connaissons bien le nom, une haine antisémite dans certains cas, raciste dans l'autre. Une des choses qui caractérise le génocide et qui le distingue, c'est qu'il intègre dans son dispositif même, dans le moment même où il opère son geste criminel, il intègre déjà sa propre négation. L'acte négationniste est contemporain de l'acte criminel. On le sait pour les hitlériens. On sait comment les nazis inventaient des euphémismes. Ils parlaient de transfert, d'évacuation, de déplacement de population, pour ne jamais dire extermination. Même chose dans le cas des Arméniens. Un geste criminel qui a ceci de particulier qu'il se nie en même temps qu'il s'opère. Nier le génocide, le nier 20 ans, 30 ans, 50 ans ou 90 ans après, c'est pour cette raison même une façon cynique, sordide, horrible de continuer le crime, de le reproduire et de le parachever. Pour que le crime soit parfait. Les Juifs le savent bien et les Arméniens le savent avant eux. Pour que le crime soit parfait, il faut qu'il soit sans trace. Et pour qu'il soit sans trace, il faut que l'on annihile jusqu'à la mémoire des survivants et des descendants. Ainsi, on prétend achever les Juifs. Ainsi, on prétend achever les Arméniens, et c'est la raison pour laquelle le négationnisme peut être à bon droit qualifié de stade suprême du génocide, et c'est la raison pour laquelle il est si important qu'il soit sanctionné par une loi.
On the other side is Armenia. The true one, I mean. Armenia which exists elsewhere than in the books of tales, legends, and stories of lost civilizations. The bridge is broken, a sign of the fracture between these two people. But elsewhere, leaders sign agreements and carefully avoid the annoying words, such as genocide. I don't ask Matthew if he wants to go there. I feel he's not ready to cross this border. He is silent, he stays there thoughtful. His eyes are a little bit sadder than usual. I wonder what he is thinking about.
Let us resume the flow of our story. The story of the son of the olive merchant's son, and of his despair. What the hell am I doing here? He asked himself when arriving at Ani, the ancient capital of an even more ancient kingdom of Armenia. Here, his wolf-like ears, the origin of which he totally ignored, felt heavier than ever. He was not a wolf, of that at least he was certain. What's more, he knew the wolves had slaughtered his ancestors. Often, he was overcome by melancholia. Lycanthropy threatened. And the son of the olive merchant's son was obsessed by the never-ending question. What absurdity made me resemble my great-grandparents' executioners? He had traveled to Ani because one evening he felt so blue he indulged in white alcohol, and thus freed a little fairy from the bottle of vodka. Her name was Anna. She brought color to his black and gray life. Together in Paris, they traveled the rainbow, sweet and loving. But the little fairy could see that despite the vodkas, mazurkas, and polkas, the dark shadow of a wicked wolf lurked somewhere on the horizon. The little fairy, needless to say, knew all the fairy tales, and she knew how to quash a malediction. So she took him to the very premises of the transformation where Garabed, such a long time ago, had escaped deportation. Together, they traveled the lands where had lived his grandfather, where he had sold his olives, bought the wolfskin. They traveled Garabed's voyage backwards and forwards again. But from Istanbul to Erzurum, by way of Ankara, no trace of Garabed. Not a sign that his ancestors had lived there. And the Glues, that is the name of the present inhabitants, swore that no wolf around here had ever gobbled a Christian. When listening to some of them, one would be led to believe that never a wolf nor an Armenian had ever set foot in the region. Glues are a strange kind of birds, often kind, harmless, and friendly. Glues firmly believe that they are lamb or sheep, or at least that their ancestors were. But the son of the olive merchant's son had learned that things are seldom what they appear to be. And he knew the Glues were descendants of the wolves who 1 century earlier had deported and massacred his long-gone forefathers. Here, the issue was taboo, and massive education made them sure they were sheep. Nevertheless, utter the word genocide, or refer to 1915, and the gentle Glue sheep will growl and show their teeth. As a matter of fact, there is a law against troublemakers who would dare to ask too many questions.
The chilling result of a very public murder. Heraint Dink gunned down at lunchtime at the entrance to his newspaper's offices. Police say they're looking for an 18 or 19-year-old. Heraint Dink was one of the most prominent voices of Turkey's Armenian community, a population whose relationship with many Turks is fraught with tension, controversy, and painful memories of a brutal past. Much of the country's once sizable Armenian population were killed or driven out from 1915 to 1917 in what an increasing number of countries are recognizing as the first genocide of the 20th century. Many Turks vehemently deny that their ancestors committed genocide, and saying so in Turkey is tantamount to treason.
Genocide is a new word combining the Greek word genos meaning race or group, with the root of the Latin sidere meaning to kill. Dr. Raphael Lemkin, who is a professor of law at Yale University and specializing in teaching matters about the United Nations. Dr. Lemkin is the man who created the word genocide. Dr. Lemkin, could you give us a little background on how you came to be interested in this genocide?
I became interested in genocide because it happened so many times. It happened to the Armenians, and after the Armenians, Hitler took action.
Le mot génocide, c'est un mot juridique. Si vous faites une définition large, oui, effectivement, vous pouvez le considérer comme génocide. Si vous faites une définition plus restrictive, ben, évidemment, ce n'est pas considérable comme génocide. Mais là, il ne faut pas se concentrer sur le jargon, sur le concept.
Ce qui s'est passé en Arménie, vous l'appelez une grande catastrophe. Est-ce que pour vous, c'est un génocide? Vous me répondez par oui ou par non? C'est tout ce que je vous demande.
T'as déjà répondu. Je vais répondre à cette question.
Je ferai 2-3 remarques après, mais juste je voudrais savoir si je n'ai pas bien compris votre intervention.
Si vous voulez que je répète, je vais le répéter. Si vous prenez au sens large la définition...
Non, au sens large, au sens restreint, c'est oui ou non. Est-ce que c'est un génocide?
Mais c'est non, si vous voulez tellement.
Non, je vous pose la question.
Il me semble... Écoutez, monsieur, je crois que...
Je voudrais savoir l'avis de monsieur, qui est un intellectuel, ça m'intéresse.
Il vient d'y répondre.
Est-ce que c'est un génocide ou non? Oui ou non? Répondez.
Écoutez, on n'est pas machin.
Non, voilà, merci monsieur. C'est ce que je voulais entendre.
Oh, on a une lettre. Ah, mais c'est de Turquie, regarde. Erzurum Musée. The Armenian Issue. C'est un DVD édité en 4 langues par le ministère de la Culture de la République turque, intitulé en français « Questions arméniennes, les allégations, les vérités historiques ». On va enfin comprendre ce qu'a essayé de nous dire le directeur du musée d'Erzurum. Alors, tu veux quelle version? Turque, anglaise, allemande ou française? Les Arméniens ont donné le plus grand préjudice au peuple turc avec leur massacre lors de la Première Guerre mondiale. C'est la version complète de l'histoire du génocide arménien, version turque. La vidéo, film.
Throughout history, hundreds, thousands, millions of people lived on these lands. The Armenians, too, were among the inhabitants of these lands. They were ruled by the Persians, the Macedonians, the Seleucids, the Romans, Parthians, Byzantines, and the Arabs, and were constantly exiled from one region to the other until the Turks gained sovereignty over Anatolia in 1071. A drastic change was witnessed in Turco-Armenian relations with the decline of the Ottoman Empire towards the end of the 19th century. The Armenians began to present themselves as an oppressed community and claimed that their sovereignty rights over Anatolia had been seized by the Turks. Armenians began to pull themselves away from the Turkish community. By far, the greatest damage was wrought on the Turks by the massacres perpetrated by Armenians during World War I. During that period, Armenians were engaged in acts of espionage on behalf of Russians. Armenian gangs engaged in whole-scale massacres against Turkish units, raided Turkish villages, inflicting heavy damage on the civilian population. For example, all the inhabitants of Vanz were killed by Armenians with no discrimination whatsoever between women, children, and the elderly.
On est parti d'Erzurum et on doit être ici quelque part, près d'Agri ou après Agri. Et on va
à Vannes. Et regarde, tout ça, c'est la frontière. Et tout ça, c'est le bastion de... Et on vient de passer par un barrage de police et ils ont pris toutes les cartes d'identité de tous les Turcs.
My name is Sadullah. Sadullah? Sadullah. Sadullah.
Anna.
Çay Kurdish.
Kurdish çay.
Turkish. Turkish. Turkish. Kurdish.
Enfin à Vannes, mon rêve. Where can we find Armenian church, Armenian culture?
Armenian church in Aktamar, I think.
Aktamar? Are an Armenian in Van? Armenian people in Van?
Stay, one stay. Armenian, the people in stay here. No.
No. I read that there were a lot of Armenians before 1915 in Van. That there was a rebellion of Armenians, and I would like to know if I can get something to read in French or English about it. If there's some history, if you have something that you could buy, some books about that.
Do you say here Armenian genocide? Genocide? Genocide.
Why genocide? Sorry.
In France, they say that there was a lot of massacres.
Of Armenians here?
Yes.
In one?
This here now not here stay.
Yeah.
Armenian people family.
Yeah, not in Armenia.
Sorry, would you like to read it?
No.
Oh, hum, another day we'll wash ourselves and start to play. We'll eat and drink and just have fun. A kitten's life is a merry one.
Sorry, in the guide, they say there's a section about the massacre of Turkish and Kurdish by Armenians. Armenian massacre. Close.
In the Museum of Van, there's also a revisionist section, but it's closed for renovation. The staff recommends us another museum in a city nearby, where the Armenian section is open. But that's enough for us. We prefer to visit the ruins of the ancient Van, located 3 kilometers from here. An old Armenian city where some 30,000 Armenians took refuge in 1915 to escape the massacres perpetrated by the Turks. The revolt, which began on April 20th, was one of the pretexts to launch the genocide. The city was recaptured in 1920 by the Ataturk's army, totally destroyed, then rebuilt a few kilometers away. Cola turca, the only way to feel better.
April the 24th, which the Armenians of diaspora commemorate each year as the so-called anniversary of Armenian genocide, is in fact the day when 2,345 people were arrested on charges of being involved in subversive activity against the state. Seeing that arresting Armenian committee members had not sufficed in quelling the incidents, the Ottoman government resorted to the evacuation of Armenians, along with many other citizens of the state, from the war-torn regions to safer ground in other parts of the country. The relocation of Armenians was meticulously carried out with utmost discipline. This between June the 9th, 1915, and February the 8th, 1916. There was not a single Armenian killed by the Ottoman army during this implementation with the intention of conducting genocide. Relocation had been carried out not with the aim of annihilating the Armenians, but with the intention of protecting them. The Armenians of diaspora, however, conducted a propaganda campaign against the Ottoman state based on fictitious accusations and slander. By relocating the Armenians, the Ottoman state had in fact saved them from annihilation and had taken unprecedented action to protect them. The allegation of genocide carried out during relocation can definitely be ruled out.
Bon, là, c'est vraiment très très gros. Là, on est dans une forme extrême de négationnisme qui, à mon avis, dessert l'État turc actuel par son excès. Avant de nier un génocide, on commence par accuser la personne que l'on désire tuer, ou enfin le groupe que l'on désire détruire. Et là, c'est parfaitement exemplaire, avec un tissu de mensonges assez étonnant. Les Arméniens sont coupables de tout ce qui leur arrive, tout sans exception.
C'est des traîtres.
Le traître, le pervers, le comploteur, le terroriste, celui qui va décider de mettre à mort tous les Turcs, en quelque sorte, le personnage plein de colère, de haine, de violence, etc. Et puis puissant aussi. Et à partir de là, se crée ce qui est, si je puis dire, le sommet de la construction négationniste que j'appelle l'anamorphose. C'est-à-dire la construction parfaitement cohérente d'une vérité à partir de mensonges qui ne peuvent pas être nuancés, qui sont parfois les plus grossiers, mais tout se cadre dans une construction qui, elle, est cohérente. Donc on a détruit un monument de vérité pour construire un monument de mensonge. Ce qui est terrifiant, c'est qu'aujourd'hui, un tel enseignement est donné dans un musée au cœur de l'endroit où ont été détruits les Arméniens à des enfants, donc, car les musées sont souvent destinés à des enfants ou à des adolescents. C'est reconduire ad aeternam le négationnisme.
Est-ce qu'on parle de massacre ou est-ce qu'on parle de génocide?
On peut parler de génocide quand l'événement dont on traite consiste en la destruction physique d'un groupe humain dont les membres sont tués en raison de leur appartenance à ce groupe et que cette destruction porte sur une part substantielle de ce groupe humain et qu'elle est faite au terme d'un plan concerté, c'est-à-dire d'un programme de destruction. Donc là, on a l'essentiel de ce qui peut être qualifié de crime de génocide.
Est-ce que vous pourriez nous décrire brièvement, rapidement, les raisons du génocide, de la mise en place du génocide?
Après la révolution de 1908, qui amène au pouvoir les jeunes Turcs, ce qu'on appelle les jeunes Turcs, c'est-à-dire le comité Union et Progrès, on a dans l'Empire ottoman un changement de perception de l'identité turque. Et donc le mot d'ordre, en quelque sorte, est la Turquie aux Turcs. Donc la Turquie aux Turcs, ça suppose que les minorités dérangent. Les Arméniens se trouvent placés exactement à l'endroit où il ne faut pas être. Lorsque la guerre éclate, comme il y a eu une défaite dès janvier 1915 à Sarikamish, on cherche un bouc émissaire, on le trouve, ce sont les Arméniens, et les membres les plus radicaux du comité Union et Progrès décident et convainquent leurs collègues un peu plus réticents de procéder à l'extermination, au déracinement en quelque sorte des Arméniens. On tue tous les hommes et on déporte les femmes et les enfants. Les déportés regroupés vers Alep vont être en majorité drainés vers le long de l'Euphrate, vers l'aboutissement, où vont être détruits les 300 000 derniers déportés, à Deir ez-Zor, qui est à l'entrée en quelque sorte des déserts de Mésopotamie. Voilà un peu ce schéma qui permet de comprendre comment les 2/3 des Arméniens de l'Empire ottoman ont été assassinés en l'espace de 18 mois, d'avril 1915 à la fin 1916. Le crime de génocide est là et absolument indiscutable. Qu'il y ait eu peut-être des épisodes où des Arméniens se sont défendus, c'est indiscutable. On ne peut pas accuser les victimes d'avoir de temps en temps, avec les faibles moyens dont ils disposent, un sursaut de défense. Je pense qu'à propos du négationnisme turc, les dirigeants turcs, ceux qui ont fait par exemple ce DVD, sont des menteurs avérés, car ils vont tellement loin dans le mensonge, dans la construction d'une contre-vérité, qu'il est évident qu'ils savent la vérité. Par contre, ceux à qui ils enseignent cette contre-vérité sont probablement innocents de tout mensonge. Ils croient ce qu'on leur dit. Ils ne savent pas que ce qu'on leur dit est un tissu de mensonge.
Would you like to answer some questions for us?
I don't like.
You don't like.
You don't want. You don't want to answer questions for us. Would you like to answer some questions? No.
Armenian genocide?
Yeah.
What do you know about it?
I can't explain.
La Turquie devrait reconnaître le génocide arménien. Qu'en pensez-vous?
Jamais existé, voilà.
Le génocide n'a jamais existé.
I don't know. I have no idea about this.
Of course, of course.
If it really happened, then I think Turkey should apologize for that. It was not a genocide.
Yes, in fact not. Yani,
Öyle bir şey olduğuna inanmıyoruz açıkçası yani Ermeni soykırımı falan. Kesinlikle kabul etmiyoruz.
kabul etmiyoruz. Aksine,
Tarihte okuyan insanlarız. Biz üniversite mezunuyuz.
ya aksine öyle bir şey
Araştırdık
biz
da.
suçlayabiliriz onları öyle.
Onlar bize soykırım yaptı yani.
Evet, kesinlikle.
Buna inanıyoruz.
Yani o zaman otursunlar, açsınlar tarih kitaplarını, hepsini
Gelsinler burada beraber
döksünler
inceleyelim
ortaya,
yani.
onu da yapmıyorlar. Sadece sözde, hatta onun adı sözde soykırım, sözde yani, sadece.
We never accept this. It is not a genocide. Okay.
We're leaving Turkey tomorrow, without regrets, to continue our honeymoon in Italy. We spent our last evening with a charming and quite occidentalized Turkish family. A perfect occasion to speak freely about sensitive subjects.
I wanted to ask you something. Would you like Turkey to be part of the European Union?
I am European side.
Yes.
And for
Europe.
For Europe. Very useful, very good. Human rights.
Yeah.
Everything is okay.
I'm not agree.
You don't. That's interesting. Why not?
Because European Union wants to change our culture.
No.
Benim düşüncem ya. Benim de örnek gösterdim. Birçok insan böyle egri değil şey olmaya, yani Avrupa Birliği'ne girmeye. Çünkü alt gözlüğüyle bakıyorlar dedi. Yani kültürlerimiz...
Bu kültür şeyi, herkes aynı şeyi söylüyor, sen değil. Yani kültürü sanki deniyor ki kültür değişecek, sanki Avrupalı gibi olacak. Yani
hayır,
şey
benim demek istediğim o değil. Kültürden
aslında
kastımız da şu.
kültürlerin gelişmesine teşvik ediyor.
Do you know what is Armenian genocide?
Again, please.
Do you know what is the Armenian genocide? Have you heard?
Soykırımdan bahsediyorum.
Evet, anlıyorum. Yes.
What is it?
What is it?
Yeah.
I don't know. I don't know. I say not this is true or wrong. I don't know.
No one knows.
I don't know is true or not.
Do you learn that at school?
There is no soykırım ne?
Genocide.
We learn. It's not true in history. or history book. There is no genocide.
In this year, Ottoman, not Turkey, Ottoman and Russia in the war.
Yeah.
In the war, Armenian terrorists, they work with Russian soldiers. Ottoman government think that to migrate Armenian people Jordan or Syria. In this travel, many Armenian people
died. Yes.
If genocide, government decide to kill, not migrate, kill, child and old people, no difference. Kill. Turkish say not we decide to kill Armenian people. Now our government and Prime Minister or President say, please look and explore our archive. Our archives are open for all of the world. But Armenian government never explore. They never believe you are genocide. Believe. I don't know why I believe this. I don't know. International historian decide Ottoman is guilty. The French Parliament 2000 year decide Armenian genocide.
Yeah.
How decide you are guilty or not? How? This is not
Logical.
intelligent. This is not logical. Not logical. Parliament decide you are guilty.
See you again.
On s'en va avec 12 heures de retard.
Thus, the son of the olive merchant's son's journey comes to an end. Here finishes the story of he who wished to untangle the knot of his origins. Carried along by a little Polish fairy, he had gone to Glue Country to solve the mystery of his wolf-like ears. And he had discovered a nation where wolves believed they were sheep. Nothing but mystification, nothing but distortion. A lie needs nothing more than doubt, as men love to doubt. And many were they over there who lied, firmly believing they spoke the truth. Where is the liar who knows he's a liar? Who is sincere? Quite enough to make him bitter. During his journey, he had learned that appearances are often deceptive. That if the wolf poses as a sheep, he must have a righteous reason, and that might makes right. In short, nothing but the usual. Thus, realizing he would learn nothing more about himself over there, he came to the following conclusion. Everyone is part wolf, part sheep. And he felt the wolf inside him quiet down, soothed and pacified for sure, by the sweet fragrance, slightly shaded with vodka, of a little fairy who loved him and gently guided him.